We now know one team officially in the OHL final, and that's the London Knights. They are Western Conference champions in back-to-back seasons. Last year ended up going to the final to face the Peterborough Petes. This year, still waiting for their opponent. And of course, this London Knights team, now 8 Wayne Gretzky trophies as Western Conference champions. So a job well done by the London Knights this season. It was quite the series in the Western Conference final between London and Saginaw. The Knights, they did have a 3-1 series lead, but the Spirit winning on the road Friday night in Budweiser Gardens, and then last night falling short 4-2 is the final score as the Knights would win that Western Conference title. And going into the conference final, fans in North Bay and Oshawa really pulling for Saginaw to win the West, because if they would have gone to the OHL Championship, then that would have meant an automatic berth to the Memorial Cup for whoever came out of the East. But with London winning, that means the Memorial Cup spot goes to the OHL champions. So they have to win the championship to clinch a spot at the Memorial Cup, joining the Saginaw Spirit. And I will do a championship preview video tomorrow once we know who the Eastern Conference opponent will be. Of course, Game 7 will take place tonight in Oshawa between the Generals and the North Bay Battalion. So stay tuned for that video. And really, this series in the Eastern Conference has been fascinating because the Oshawa Generals, they had a 3-0 series lead, and now North Bay looking to complete the reverse sweep. They could win 4 in a row tonight and advance to their second OHL championship since relocating to North Bay 10 years ago. Really, the series between North Bay and Oshawa has kind of changed since Connor Punnett went down with a knee injury. It's been having a major impact on the blue line, and Oshawa just having some issues. They lost 8-1 yesterday in North Bay, a very lopsided score, something we haven't seen in the postseason for this Oshawa Generals team. So we'll see what happens tonight. It should be an exciting game at the Tributes Community Center, and this should be a really good finish to the Eastern Conference Championship. The Oshawa Generals, of course, they're the number 1 seed, so they have the home ice advantage, and whoever wins will have to take on the London Knights. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all takes place. I will do that OHL final preview video tomorrow, and then also do videos of the teams that were eliminated in the conference final. I'll start things off with the Saginaw Spirit, but that video will be a little different, of course, because Saginaw's season still going as they're hosts of the Memorial Cup, which will take place in a couple weeks. And over the weekend, we had a few big signings, so I wanted to touch on this. No surprise, really, with the Windsor Spitfires. They have signed first overall pick Ethan Belchetz. Belchetz was in Windsor over the weekend for the Spitfires orientation camp. So the 6'5", 230-pound forward has signed his commitment to play with the Spitfires. He played with the Oakville Rangers last season, posting 46 goals and 84 points in 34 games. He is going to be quite the force in the OHL if he can translate that to the junior hockey level. He was unreal then at the OHL Cup, where he was named tournament MVP after posting 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. So Belchetz, maybe the early favorite to win OHL Rookie of the Year next season, but of course, it all depends on what happens on the ice and how he fits in with this Windsor Spitfires team. But the Spitfires, I think this team should be much improved going into next season. Still looking to address goaltending. We'll see if they'll make a move or two before the start of the regular season. But you have to like the chances of Windsor making the playoffs next season. And also the Peterborough Petes at the OHL draft, they swung for the fences. They had the 3rd overall selection and ended up going with Colin Fitzgerald. And right before the draft, Fitzgerald signed a commitment with the Green Bay Gamblers of the USHL. And despite that, he's decided he's going to play for his hometown Peterborough Petes. Coach Rob Wilson, he met with Fitzgerald after the draft, and it seems like that conversation had an impact because the 6'1", 174-pound forward, he has decided to wear the maroon and white for next season. For Fitzgerald, he was not at the orientation camp, so some people were wondering, okay, maybe he won't end up playing with Peterborough, but in the end, it was announced over the weekend that the 3rd overall pick has decided to go the OHL route. The Petes, though, they have plenty of young talent going into next season. They made all those big trades at the deadline this past season, and with Aiden Young, with Caden Taylor, Nico Addy, and now you add Fitzgerald. I think this Peterborough Petes team, they're going to make a lot of noise in a couple seasons. It all depends, though, on the chemistry and how these players are all going to gel together. But on paper, things are looking very positive for the Peterborough Petes going into 2023-24, and then it's going to be, or rather the 24-25 season, and then 25-26. Expect that to be the year Peterborough makes a serious push for top spot in the East Division, although we saw a couple of teams this year make some surprises ahead of schedule, being the Mississauga Steelheads and the Oshawa Generals. So could Peterborough compete earlier than expected? Yep, it's very possible, but I think it's more likely it'll be the following season that we see the Petes make that leap forward to being in contention for maybe even an Eastern Conference title in 2 years' time. Now, with Fitzgerald and Belchetz both signing, that leaves 7 of the 10 first-round picks have now made commitments to their OHL clubs. So 3 have yet to be signed. That includes Pierce Mabui with Owen Sound, Caleb Malhotra with Kingston, and Tyler Challenger with Erie. So we haven't heard those 3 players' names yet if they've signed with their OHL clubs. Caleb Malhotra seems unlikely to sign with the Kingston Frontenacs. Of course, he's signed that agreement with the Chilliwack Chiefs of the BCHL. It sounds like he's continuing in that direction, although with Colin Fitzgerald deciding to sign with the Peterborough Petes, does Malhotra decide to change his mind and commit to the Ontario Hockey League? With that, does Kingston keep Malhotra's rights, or do they look to trade his rights? I know his dad used to play for the Guelph Storm, Manny Malhotra, so there is that connection there. I know there's been some speculation around the league that maybe Malhotra gets traded to the Guelph Storm, but time will tell. But still, no signs pointing that he's going to play in the OHL next year. Still waiting for Mabui. He had a fantastic OHL Cup, one of the leading scorers with that Toronto Marlboros team. And then Tyler Challenger, we haven't heard much either in regards to him committing to play with the Erie Otters, but time will tell as there's still time between now and training camp. So that's how I see it from the booth. I know this is a quick little news video. These videos are probably going to be like this now through the OHL's off-season, depending on what kind of news we get. But I'll still follow along with the playoffs as we get ready for the OHL Championship. I'm also planning to do a live stream once the season is over, kind of just to have a hangout, talk about the 2023-24 OHL season, and look at where this channel could go into next season. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for all your support as this channel continues to grow. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll talk to you again soon.